Hello there. This is going to be day 12 of my winter training protocol. So today was a power day, which is where I do most of my off-the-wall training. Started the session with the same warm-up as last session as day 11, which I'm still trying to get some new stuff with more isometric focused finger activation, which really felt good again this session. So I'm going to probably keep fiddling around with that, seeing what feels good. And then I did a bunch of just climbing on the wall, worked my way up to like V6 through like 10 different boulders, and it was really good. I felt really, really warm. But yeah, let's get into the training clips. I'll talk about each of them and let you know what I did. Alrighty, so this can be the first day where I actually have my little training protocol, my training notes there at the bottom. So that's what I'm doing today. So starting off here, we have my latch exercise. We're basically jumping up to the 5th rung and holding it for about 2 to 3 seconds. And yeah, I'm still not quite strong enough to be able to hold that by itself. So I still do have my hand down on the 1 rung to basically give me a tiny bit of extra support. But this is just really to get the fingers super activated, really work on that contact strength, like when you're going big dynamic move and striking a hold. And yeah, for this, obviously you can see this the reps and the sets. The big thing about this exercise is it felt a little bit too easy today, I think. So what I think I might do next session is to go 1 to 5.5, and then basically try from there, see if that feels better, because obviously the higher I get up above that bottom hand, the worse it will be. Also, the farther I'll have to jump, meaning the more velocity I'm going to be coming in with. So I think that'll make it a good bit harder, even just adding that extra 0.5. And yeah, I think I will go ahead and try that out next week, because this was, I think, the one exercise that felt a little bit easy this week. The rest of them all felt pretty hard, which is good. And again, I've only done this training day. This is actually only my 3rd time doing this training day, because obviously this is going to be the end of the 3rd week, so I will have done each of these days 3 times. So this is the first day where I actually had this training day figured out all the way. And yeah, it felt really good just to follow the thing and hit each thing. So this here's the last set of the latches. But yeah, I think just hopping a little bit higher next time. It felt a lot better in my fingers. Pinky's not really hurting at all. It hurt a little bit, tiny little bit on these, but then not really too much through the rest of the campus boarding, which is always a good sign. I don't think I said this, but the rungs I'm doing here I think are 20 mil. We have 3 sets in the gym. It's 30, 25, 20. So yeah, these are 20 mil, and obviously like a 15-degree overhang. That's standard on campus boards. So yeah, it's good because I treat this as my finger workout for the day. Because usually I feel like you would probably supplement a power day with some finger boarding, but instead I think this is enough fingers for sure, being I'm doing 3 different exercises. So here, next up we have 1, 3, 5, 9, 7. This one's just a lot of moves. I'm getting better at it. My technique still definitely needs improvement, but I do think it is a whole ton better than last week. My technique last week was very bad. The biggest thing is just my lower body I got to focus on and kind of using it to push myself through the movements. Because last week I remember that my hips were really swinging side to side, whereas now I'm going much more straight up and down, which is definitely ideal. But yeah, this one, 4 reps total, leading each hand twice. And yeah, these felt good. They're just tough. It's just a lot of moves to be able to bang through. So then now here, this is where I do kind of my bigger moves is the last thing, which is a 1, 4, 5.5, or I start a rung up because I'm too tall to start in the lower rung. So I do 2, 5, 6.5. Again, same thing as the last exercise. Basically 4 reps total, 2 starting with each side. And this move here, the second move, is like the real one that matters, like being able to pull through with a really low other hand. Basically, you're kind of just pulling all with that top hand, which is quite interesting. And surprisingly, I actually felt stronger usually on the left side with my left hand farther up, because you would think that with my right hand farther up, I'd feel stronger, being that my right hand is usually stronger on most things. But yeah, it was quite interesting. Maybe that bottom hand matters more than I imagined, which is quite interesting to think about. But then, yeah, here, moving on to the last thing, we have our weighted pull-ups. I'm doing one arm with weight taken off. So you can't see it here, but on the pulley system, it's 15 pounds. So basically, I'm doing sets of 3 with 15 pounds on the pulley. And if I weigh 155-ish now, so basically doing 140. So yeah, I'm getting pretty close. I think I could shred a little bit of weight next week. The only thing is this week I actually did 4 sets of 3 reps on each side. So I don't really want to go down too much more weight and maybe go 12 and a half. But yeah, even just 2.5 pounds with this many reps can get really tough. It can really add up. Because yeah, the difference between 1 rep and 3 reps is crazy on something like a pull-up. Yeah, you're seeing me. I finally figured out the setup this week. I feel like all the way, where like it's working really well. And then these last 2 sets, I actually figured out the technique a little bit more. I want to have my legs on the outside of the weight, and I want to pull with my. I'm going to think about engaging more of my back, like my teres major, my lats, which I think is something that I wasn't really thinking about previously. The first set, I was kind of just pulling with my arm. Whereas the second rep, I'm really getting my back engaged. These are the second 2 sets. Really getting my back engaged and really pulling through my whole back, which helped me to still perform these reps even though I'm getting more fatigued as the sets progress. But yeah, it's good. The one thing I did like is that I did this session on a Sunday. And although the gym was busy, nobody was on anything I was trying to use. Like nobody's ever on the campus board, nobody's ever using the pulley, which is kind of nice because the gym is pretty busy Sunday mornings. Usually I used to be doing the endurance session Monday morning, but the gym is super packed and it's kind of annoying. And I feel like the annoying one, trying to like do a bunch of reps on a climb when there's people, actually trying to like just climb around. So yeah, it was kind of nice to switch over to this. And yeah, here's the last rep here, and let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. Yeah, so that was the session day, and then as you saw probably at the bottom of that, I also did a couple sets of dips. I did 1 set body weight where I hit like I think 9 reps, and then 2 sets of plus 25 pounds where I did 4 reps each. And then I did some form extensors because I skipped those on Saturday yesterday because I didn't have time. So I added those in as well, 15 pounds. And yeah, I just did 2 sets of that. And then that was really all my antagonistic work. The big thing I wanted to talk about today was, I just had a thought. I like to always share a little thought I have today. So my thought today was plateauing. Just the thought I had. I was thinking about I went on a little like almost 4-mile walk after my session to kind of like get my little cardio in. And I was thinking about plateauing, and it's like, I was thinking about, other than that, also just like the definition of what training is. I think training in itself, I think what it means to me is just to have a little bit of structure behind your climbing training, behind your climbing programming, right? Because like I climbed pretty much 2 years straight with just climbing. I mean, like I did some training-esque exercises where, I'm doing some off-the-wall stuff, but never really like in a way that was very methodical or very thought out. I kind of just climbed. And although some of that could definitely be constituted as training, I feel like the real essence of training is to have an actual like plan that you follow and to somehow structure your sessions and your sessions, which I think is what this is now. Although the sessions themselves are quite similar, some of them, like the projecting session is quite similar to a normal session I would do before. It's just that having that 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, this warm up, this cool down exercise, this antagonistic exercise, having that is actually really, really nice because it's a very similar workout, but I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of it, and I'm also avoiding a lot of negatives of said workout. I'm not going too long. I'm helping myself to avoid a lot of injury risks. I'm only fatiguing certain parts of my body, so I'm still fresh for a different session, something like that. It's really like opened me up to, I think, improving at a much quicker rate. And that goes into what I was going to talk about was plateauing. It's like, I think there's only really 2 reasons that somebody can plateau. I don't really like that word. There's only really 2 reasons why someone's progress can slow, and that's because they either don't have enough sessions, which that's fine. You might be busy, you might not be interested in climbing anymore, you don't have enough sessions. That's probably the leading cause. The other one is just you're not trying hard enough, or you're not working hard enough, depending on, obviously that's a very hot topic, I think. But I feel like if you're really going to the gym consistently, like at least 2 or 3 days a week, and you're like trying hard those days, I don't really feel like you can be plateauing. I think it can be easy to think you are, because, for example, if you hit your first V4 or whatever grade, and the next few weeks go by and you just do only more V4s, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna do a V5, I'm plateaued, I can't hit V5. But it's like, that's not what it is. It's what you're doing is you're learning more and more skills, and you're getting better, and you're climbing more V4s, which could be completely different styles, and you're getting better at all these different styles of climbing and all these different move sets that, yeah, you might not get the next binary grade number, but you're improving in so many different ways. Like, that's kind of how I feel now, where although I've been stuck at this V8 grade for, I feel like, a while, at least indoors, that is, I'm still increasing my numbers in so many different little things. Like, I'm completing more V8s in a day, or completing more V7s in a day, getting further on a project. You know, V8s are going a little bit quicker. I'm hanging with more weight on my max hangs. Like, my workouts are starting to feel a little bit easier. I'm adding weight to, you know, I'm taking weight off the weighted pull-ups, stuff like that. Like, I can tell I'm getting stronger even though that binary grade is not there. And that's, I think, one of the biggest, probably the number 2 biggest positive training. The number 1 is that you improve quicker, but the number 2 is that you unlock these, like, measurements that you can actually look at week after week and see that you're improving, which is a really, really nice thing for me, at least. Some people might not like that, but I love that I can see that I'm improving each week, and it's not just some guessing game of, hey, is this making me stronger? Like, is this working, or am I doing something wrong? Where I think, like, the way that I'm approaching this now is it's allowing me to really have these numbers. I have the Crimped app. If you don't know what that is, it's a really good app you can log all your workouts, and I put little notes in there of how I'm feeling each day, possible changes I could do in the future, and stuff like that. And that's really helped me, because I can look back throughout the weeks and be like, okay, this week I felt really weak. I should try this, or this week I felt really strong. Maybe next week I'll try doing this. Maybe add an extra rep, add an extra set, take off a little weight, add a little weight, and it really helps me to kind of tailor that and realize, like, see how I'm improving. Like, for example, my max hangs, I've added 10 pounds in 4 weeks, which is very good. Yeah, my weighted pull-ups have taken off 5 pounds. Campus boarding, I've done this in exercises, but this week I didn't fail. Like, last week I failed on multiple of the exercises. This week I got through them all, which is really good. And it's like stuff like that, you know, it's like stuff you don't really think about. But yeah, it's just really nice. It's like, yeah, I'm really excited with this protocol. I think it's going very, very well. And yeah, I talked a lot about yesterday about, you know, the fact that it's very tailored to my goal, which I think is a very good thing, because if my sole goal was to get better at gym climbing, I think this is not the best way of doing it, because a lot of stuff I'm doing is not as applicable to gym climbing, but I think it should carry over very well to outdoors. So I'm really excited to see how that works when I go outdoors. Probably in about 2 weeks, or about a week and a half, I should be going outside climbing again, back at school, back in Knoxville, or back in Tennessee. So that'll be very, very exciting to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm really excited to see. I feel like much stronger. I'm going to try to go hop on all the same projects and see if the training's paying off, seeing if I feel stronger on those moves, which I don't know how I wouldn't, to be honest, but, you know, it's possible. It's always possible. So yeah, that was my thought for the day. Plateauing is fake. Not really, but, you know, you're always improving. Even if it seems like you're recessing, you're always improving in some way. And it's really easy to get disheartened, but all the climbing takes, this is my last point, and then I'm done yapping, but I think that climbing is a very easy sport to improve at, but it takes a lot of work. I think all you gotta do is show up. All you gotta do is go and try hard, and there's so much other blabber about how to do that more effectively, but in its essence, to get better at climbing, all you gotta do is show up and try hard, and it's very, very easy to do that, but it's obviously not. It's actually very hard to do all of that, you know? Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like, improving at climbing is not a hard thing, but in practice it is very, very hard to do. And, you know, all it takes is one day after one day, trying hard and, you know, just enjoying it. Like, if you're not enjoying it, then maybe it's not for you. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm very happy to be back, feeling really strong. I felt very, very strong today and yesterday. So I'm super psyched on that. I'm back on the boulders on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to that. See you.